Welcome to a CBS presentation of the Comply Health and Safety Manual Systems. This is effectively a presentation folder. It's designed and set up for a high-risk organisation. What we've done is we've combined the whole system into effectively two now categories. There was once three. Two categories being the low risk and high risk, so that in the event that a business is growing and takes on other aspects, that they have already the systems in place to cope with a high risk environment. With this system, as I mentioned earlier on in the previous video, everyone gets a flowchart of how to start, how to get active. What I do first of all with clients is that they get their system and give them the opportunity to go through this for a week or two and create some questions around it and start filling in a few things. Use the USB stick with the whole list of list of all the different documents on it, and start filling in the basic forms there. So as we go through into it, the first page is one of the health and safety policy. So the health and safety policy is something that you put up in a prominent place in your workplace, so that it advertises to everyone about how we behave, how we look after our staff, how we look after our clients, and how we look after our contractors. And as a result, how we behave and how we work out the system, and in order to be compliant, or not just compliant, but exceed those expectations. My objective for the businesses that purchase a health and safety system through CBS is that they have the the ability to, or the whole system is in place, in order so that in the event that a WorkSafe officer chooses to come and do a random inspection, you can present your system to them in the form of, let's say it's in a couple of folders. By the time they come round to it, that they sit down for 15-20 minutes and flicking through it, might take a couple of notes because they're wanting to see how things work, and then choose to leave. That's how I want to have businesses who buy a system through CBS have their system operating. So first thing is sign the health and safety policy. Some people frame it, but they put it all up in a prominent place in their workplace. A couple of other main points I'm going to go through here on the start of this is the health and safety calendar. A health and safety calendar we have laid out in further documents further on, but one of the things here is this part of the manual is a set of guidelines on how you operate, and we've developed those guidelines into forms which are further on in the document here in order to be able to work that well. So the list of calendar items is detailed right in the beginning here, and we can address those later on, but they're things that you actually go through on a weekly, monthly, 6 monthly, or quarterly, 6 monthly, and annual basis. It's a consistent state of improvement that you must work towards. Over the page here, then we also have the duties of care. Duties of care for, first of all, the PCBU, and how the PCBU must effectively institute policies and procedures to the whole team so that they're aware of how everything works. The second one is the duties of care of the officers. So they're the people that are going to be running those systems. And then the workers, which is everyone else who is working in conjunction with the duty officers to be able to work that. The next step, or the next prominent major thing in here, is identifying the different types of hazards. There are 5 different hazards. First one is physical, so actual damage to people in respect to cuts or crush injuries, amputations, all the nasty things like that. The next hazard that is recognised is ergonomic. Ergonomic is for repetitive work, whether it be someone working in an office environment and not having their workstation set up correctly, or even the likes of a fish factory where you're continually doing the same thing, or a freezing works, or something like that where there's repetitive work and you've got to get set up properly and have the right procedures in place in order to be able to identify any long-term effects or short-term effects, as in how those are going to affect your workers. Additionally, there's biological. Simple way to look at that is keep the smoker room clean, keep the bathrooms clean and tidy, and in a sanitary condition. Also, biological good also mean in the event of waste products being distributed in some interesting way. Another one of the ones is chemical. That's pretty obvious, whether it's a spill that's on the road, or a spill in your workshop, or even a neighbour having an accident. How do you behave when that happens? Another one is psychological. Psychological is relatively new to the list, but is really well recognised, and we're seeing a lot of that coming through in the form of the benefits from the businesses that actually attend to the psychological side of things. So psychological can be in so many different ways, whether there are people acting as counsellors for other people within the organisation. How do they then offload that? The other aspect is the duty officers and people running the business being able to actually see when staff members are actually stressed out and how they're actually, effectively workloads are slowing down, and by just a little attention can assist them in getting to the next step. We see that the psychological side of things, unlike everything, all the other hazards, is that you can't actually put a tag on a person and say, do not use until fixed, like a piece of machinery. The psychological side of things in most cases is actually dealt with externally, and we can address that later on. Other than that, I'm not going to go through every page in here, but this whole set of the document, the beginning steps, from your first page through to that, is the area where you would PDF that and send that off to a customer or a client that is requesting the policies and procedures that you operate under. And from there I will move on to the next step in the process of the videos that we're doing, and we'll catch you in the next video. Thank you.